Hey, welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam, and well, I'm outside. I want to chat a little bit about why I'm spending so much time sharing my thoughts and feelings and experience in nature. Why walking in nature? I mean, walking is great for you. We know that. Studies are out, right? Walk on a treadmill. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk down the street. It's great for you. 20 minutes a day. Change your life. But if you walk in nature, well, that's next level change, because nature just offers a little bit more. I talked about this in another video, happy chemicals, right? So the act of spending time in nature, mindful, right? Time in nature, being aware, takes a little bit of effort, but using as many of your senses. So you got to change the way you walk. Another video I did. So make it a practice. It's exercise, call it work, but you're worth it. So put in the time and be mindful, because those happy chemicals, right? Those endorphins, the serotonins, the oxytocins, right? The dopamine. We need that. It's good for us. How and when, that's the difference. So, walking in nature. While you are being mindful and focusing on those things you see and hear, and you let the play of light and shadow interact with your brain, you start to notice, and you're curious and you're wondering. That's what you're doing. More importantly, it's the stuff you're not doing. Yeah, you're by yourself, you're in nature, but if you're practicing, if you've got a mindset, a focus, if you're doing your own experience, you're not in your own head anymore, right? So those things you're not thinking about, because the average person has 60,000 thoughts in a day. The average person, that's a 16-hour day. And like 85% of that for the average person, it's not good. I mean, there's a lot of negative talk. That's 51,000 out of 60,000 thoughts that are not good for your heart. And, a lot of it has to do with how relative we perceive ourselves to be, our value, our worth. But when you get to be my age, you figure out no one is thinking about you in the amount that you think they're thinking about you. In fact, the only person thinking about you is you. And it's probably worse than what you're thinking other people are thinking. So you got to change that. That's a separate conversation. That takes its own amount of effort. But surround yourself with loving people, with good people, who I hope have the courage, and that you can role model the words you want to hear said back to you by saying it to them. Be kind. Gratitudes. Appreciation. Because I am grateful for the people in my life. I have a very small circle. And for those of you that know me, you know how small that circle is. But it's a good circle. All right? And I want to share some of that with you. That's why I'm doing this. Get a dog. Right? Unconditional love. Cats can do it too, but we have one. We believe there are a few more conditions than what the dog has of us. But yeah, you got to change your own internal dialogue. You got to change the narrative, because you are harsh on yourself, and that's not good. I mean, you're releasing cortisol, and some people who might feel they've got more reason than others to blame themselves for some pretty heavy stuff, man, after a while, that trauma that you're creating in your own self, and yeah, it might come from someplace, but if you don't forgive, if you don't let go, man, it's going to consume you, because now you are in the sympathetic, you're living in stress, you're living in trauma, and we all know that stress affects the human body. We know that stress makes you sick. So if your emotions, if our negative emotions can have such a factor, can be such a factor in our lives that they make us sick, that they actually create illness, deadly stuff. We have the capacity to change that with just our own internal dialogue. So be kind to yourself, because 51,000 thoughts a day for the average person are not great. So be good to yourself. And in turn, that probably better help you be kind to others. So go outside, take a walk, 20 minutes. And while you are being mindful on that outdoor experience, getting all those happy chemicals, one of them not being, all right, our cortisol. I mean, it's there. You got enough pressures in the world, and believe it or not, you're putting most of that in your own self. So change your own narrative, get some exercise, go outside, change your narrative, all right? Because you are amazing, believe it or not. You got to tell yourself that. More importantly, you got to believe it. And, at the end of the day, no one else really cares. You're not as big a deal as you think you are. You might have a small circle, and yeah, you're a pretty big deal to them. And they're a pretty big deal to you, and that's what matters. I mean, the other billions of people on this planet, they don't care about you. You got to care about yourself. Look after yourself. Look after your family. Look after your provider. And the universe will go from there. So